my Buddha listeners.
My name is Tracer. Thank you, Buddha.
Thank you, Buddha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Buddha.
Hi, all my Buddha listeners. My name is Ron. I've been learning Buddhism for about 6 years now. I'm actually here today to share with you my experience as a COVID patient. So yes, I'm COVID patient in Singapore, number 482. I was one of the imported cases. I got it when I was on the way back from Boston. I spent 3 weeks there for work. I came back, probably on the trip back, I got the virus. So I just want to share about what I learned from this very long journey with COVID. It can actually happen to anyone, regardless of your wealth, regardless of your social status, regardless of your age. And yeah, it was actually well, although I wasn't admitted to the ICU, but yeah, anything could have happened in the second week. It was considered a near-death experience for me, and it really helps me appreciate the value of life, the meaning of life. So actually, I kind of reflected, if I had succumbed to COVID, right, what would my thoughts be? I would really regret not cherishing every moment I have with the Dharma, every moment I have that allows me to learn about Buddhism. I'm actually 36 this year, and I'm in a phase of my life where I have 2 young boys, 3 years, the other 3 months only. And my career is at its peak now. So I have a very busy schedule at work. It requires me to travel almost every month. To me, I felt that Buddhism can wait, right? I'll have plenty of time when I'm closer to retirement. That's the time when I can devote a lot of discipline, a lot of time into studying Buddhism. But the question after this whole COVID incident, it tells me that, it kind of makes me ask the question whether I can actually wait that long, right? If I had succumbed to this disease, right? The next question is, if I had succumbed to this disease, then what would I become in my next life? I might be in hell, right? Or I could be I could reincarnate and become an animal, right? Maybe I'm a bit luckier, I become a human, but this human might not have access to Buddhism, might not have any chance to learn about the way of the Buddha. It really helps me reflect on these principles in Buddhism about cherishing your life, cherishing this opportunity to get a chance to practice. And yes, it became very real for me through this experience with COVID. COVID has killed almost 200,000 people today, right? It is a really terrible disease. But the question is, what has COVID done to this planet, right? It has, firstly, reduced pollution, right? There's less traffic on the roads. There's no factory emissions during this period. Everyone's staying at home, right? It actually allows us to give time for Mother Earth to start to breathe again. It actually allows the wildlife to repopulate their natural habitats as humans start to go back home and the animals start to come out to their natural habitats again. So I also learned a lot about my life and this crazy episode in my life. I learned that there are many people who care about me, many people who love me. I learned about the power of triple gems and the power of the faith in Buddhism. And I also learned that miracles do happen just when you think all is lost, right? And I really want to thank my family and my friends, all the healthcare workers that really helped me through this journey, the triple gems for looking after me. I was back in Singapore on the 19th of March. The following day, I developed a dry cough, and then the day after, I started having chills, and in the middle of the night, I had a fever. Yeah, so the next day I went to the NCID, I got swab tested, and initially, I didn't get the test results within the day. Yeah, I thought that, it must be negative because, yeah, they told us that, if it's negative, they will not call us until a few days later. Right, so the following day in the morning, very unfortunately, I received a call at about 10 o'clock. And it was actually telling me that I'm positive for COVID. Within an hour, the ambulance came. I packed my belongings. That was on the 23rd of March, on a Monday. Yeah, I was on my way to NCID again in an ambulance. I arrived there, I was warded. It was actually a shared room, right? Because they probably ran out of single isolation wards already. Of course, shared rooms, shared toilets. I had a fever for several days at the start. High fever up to 39 degrees. I had a cough as well, heavy coughs. So I was given cough syrups. And because I'm very susceptible to cough syrups, I just slept a lot, up to 18 hours a day. Several days. I even skipped meals because I was just sleeping all the way. And that actually helped, I guess, helped me to combat the virus. I had diarrhea as well. Not everyone has diarrhea. About 20% of patients would have diarrhea. I had diarrhea in the first few days. I lost my appetite. I lost my sense of smell. But of course, the food in the hospital was very bland as well. So every time I receive my meals, I just feel very nauseated when I look at it. In fact, I skipped several of my meals and only had the fruits that came along with it. Yeah, so I definitely lost weight in NCID. Towards the end of the first week, the doctor came to tell me that the patients usually become much worse in the second week, or some could actually become better in the second week. So was very much preparing us to know what to expect in the second week of symptoms. But in fact, for me, in the second week, I developed pneumonia. I couldn't breathe deeply. When I do that, I'll immediately cough, and I'll cough quite badly. So the doctor sent me for a CT scan. The scan results came out, 2/3 of my lungs were inflamed, which is why, I never really got a swab in the second week because the doctors were pretty sure that I was positive for COVID. It was still a cough, right? I didn't go into the ICU. It was fine. I had low-grade fever. And this went on until the third week. By the third week, I'm much better. Yeah, I just had, occasional coughs. With this, I was given a swab. So how the swab works is that if you're positive, then you have to wait for your next swab. If you're negative, then you get swabbed again the following day. If it's still negative on the second swab, then you get to go home. Yes, so I had a negative swab on the third week. Right, I was pretty excited. But the following day, I had another swab, and the results turned out positive. Yeah, so I was very disappointed. In fact, I even had plans for the day after I get discharged. But turns out, I had to go to a recovery facility because I was much better, and doctors felt that I can go to a recovery facility and be isolated until I get my negative swabs again. I spent about 19 days in NCID altogether. I was going to the recovery facility. In fact, this is really funny that I was actually told that I was going to the expo because the day I was discharged was 10 April. That was Good Friday. That was the first day of expo's operation as another recovery facility. The following day, nurses told me I was actually going to the D resort. That was actually the first recovery facility. Yeah, then I was very confused because I was given different instructions. But it turns out I was the last batch of patients for that day to be going to the D resort. And then the following trip was actually straight to the expo. So I was very lucky. I got to D resort on that Friday. They had a balcony, so I could actually go outside and get fresh air. I never had fresh air when I was in NCID. It was all air conditioned. Out of the hospital, you get food that actually tastes normal. My family and friends, they were also able to send things to me, and I can actually order food from food delivery companies. It was nice. I had a very nice roommate to chat to, and yeah, the days went by quite quickly. But in a recovery facility like the resort, for every positive test that you get, the following opportunity is actually 4 days later. Every positive test, you have to wait 4 days, and this is actually quite an internal struggle, because you when you get a positive test, then you know that you won't be able to see your family until at least 4 to 6 days later. This was actually what I was battling in the recovery facility. Not so much about my COVID symptoms. In fact, I was pretty symptom free by the time I was in the resort. But I was more like, when can I actually get reunited with my family? I haven't seen my 3-month-old son since his first month, so I haven't seen him for 2 months. I was dying to get back to my 2 very adorable sons and my wife, of course. After spending 16 days in the resort, finally today I was discharged, and here I am making this video. And I really wish all of you stay safe and stay healthy during this crazy period. Thank you. I'm proud to be a Buddhist youth. Thank you, Buddha.